Hello guys, welcome back. Somebody asked me if I would do a video on Loki, and since he's a god known to do change, about Loki pushing us into the unknown and, what kind of transformation, if any, or any reward we get from that. And my current example is Loki pushing me into working with the Kami, because we've already gone over the reasons why I was reluctant to do it, and I had to work through that, and that was being pushed into the unknown, and that was pretty painful and pretty scary. And it brought up all those feelings that you kind of suppress just to get through your day-to-day life. It brought all those feelings to the surface, and I had to deal with them, and that was not fun. That hurt a lot. But what I learned from the process was that I don't have to carry anybody else's actions but my own. I'm thinking of Neil Gaiman for some reason. Do your own time. I didn't have to carry what anyone in my family may or may not have done. I didn't have to carry how my family acted in the past. I am my own person, so I didn't have to answer for anybody else's actions, and the Kami made that clear. They weren't asking me to do atonement for my ancestors. They weren't asking me for anything. They were more interested that I remember I have Japanese ancestors. Just like if you work with the Wudon Loa, they feel you have African ancestors, and if you work with La Santa, you are Mexican, or Aztec, or however she's coming to you. Yeah, and you do not argue with the Kami. If I would say I wasn't Japanese, just look at me. I think Inari would chase me and eat me. So yeah, we're not having that conversation, ever. Um, because we're all related. If you go by Shinto belief, we're all absolutely related. Kami and human are actually related to each other. Everything is Kami. Um, Everything is Kami, which, and there are different classifications, but all the Kami are Kami, all the gods are Kami. Ancestors can and usually be Kami. There are all these complicated classifications you can throw at stuff, but everything's Kami. And we had started a Let's Play on Bendy, but I thought, I don't think you guys want to see that, so you won't see that, but I was discussing in that, anything can be sold, which is a topic for another time, but like you can have something like an inanimate object, like a doll or something, and that can also be, since everything's thought to have like a little bit of soul essence in it, that can also be ensouled by Kami. Loki's helping. So it was a really dark time for me to be pushed through, but I learned what to carry and what not to carry the useful stuff, to get rid of the bad stuff. I learned that I wasn't going to die not working directly with Loki every day, though I haven't liked it much, and he knows it. And I learned, a lot about myself by, how I've been working with the Kami and how we're settling into each other. And they're very blunt. Inari and Susanna O are extremely blunt. They don't sugarcoat anything. You think I'm blunt, they're 10 times worse. Susanna O will shout and quite loudly that, I'm not going on any extreme diet, because he was worried that I was, I've been eating a soup for breakfast because it seems to be like okay on my digestion. But he was just worried. He's like, you're not doing that extremist BS you do where you like eat nothing and you eat low calorie foods and da 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 da. So he's been keeping me on the straight and narrow. And that was another dark thing of being pushed into the unknown, of being pushed into, we all have self-acceptance issues. We all have something that we say we accept, and we usually do, but you always have those times where you're like, well, why aren't I different? Why don't I look like this, or why don't I look like that? So I've been facing that too, and that's going into the unknown too, because we all live by this fiction, I think, presented by our society, that once we match certain standards, our life's going to go perfect, which of course it doesn't, but, we live with that illusion. And so it's been a lot of Loki and the Kami stripping away all those very comforting illusions that were given by our society. They're like, BS, da 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 da, rah 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 rah, and like pulling down like all these illusions, because You know, you can't eat anything or drink anything today without somebody running up to you and telling you that's terrible and unhealthy for you. But, Susanna was reminding me, what about that guy you saw? He's like one of the oldest living people in America, and he had like 1 or 2 cans of soup every day, smoked cigars, and drank whiskey. So, there you go. Genetics is a huge part of it. So, and I had an aunt that, she never smoked, she never drank a day in her life. She very rarely ate meat at all. In fact, she ate very little food, which is supposed to be super healthy for you, and she was mostly vegetarian. Died of cancer, because cancer gallops in my family, so it didn't matter that she lived this extremely healthy lifestyle, and she hardly ate sweets, and she, hardly, had all this other stuff. So, I think a lot of it's BS. I think you're going to die from something, you're going to die from something. If that bullet has your name on it, it's going to get you. Excuse the metaphor in our current fine climate, but you get what I mean. And it was just kind of like, dealing with a lot of that stuff and dealing with, a lot of issues from my past, and it was being pushed into the unknown. But the reward was I finally worked on it. A lot of us, we just repress stuff and we forget we repressed it because you do it to get through your day-to-day, or you be a basket case. And it's not easy working on it, and you're terrified to go through the process because you're like, what will happen to me? But usually it's very freeing. It's very freeing in my case because Loki will always be there to catch you. He came today and he was extra cuddly and extra funny and silly, and now it feels like he's backing off a little bit and letting Inari take over again for a little while, but that's okay because he wants me to learn the lesson of, his love for me or affection towards me is not going to change because Inari becomes, not head of the household, but the main god I work with. He's made it clear to me, at least, and this goes for me, not for anyone else, but I'm to treat Inari with as much respect and love and as high a position as I treat Loki. Loki will refer to Inari's sister or brother or sibling or twin. So I get the strong impression to, give them to them both equally, which I do. And that was something I didn't like either because Loki knew very well I wanted it to always be me and Loki and to never have to change and to never have to grow, but he keeps bringing new gods in. I think that's why he does it with me, because he doesn't want me to become complacent or overly dependent. He wants us to kind of balance it. It's okay to go through times when we just absolutely cling to Loki and well like little fox cubs or kittens or whatever metaphor works for you. And it's also okay to be Mr. or Miss Independent or whatever gender you are and just go off and do your own thing. He'll be proud of you either way. And for me, he just wants me to have enough balance to be independent because I usually won't listen. But to also learn I can depend on the gods. And he's been doing trust exercises that are very strange, but they work with me. He had me put in the Walmart order, and then he did have me go over, did I say that this recording? And make an order of the soups. And it turns out Amazon has them in stock, and they were the same price. They weren't any more expensive. So I probably won't get them still for a month because I don't have a Prime membership, but at least they'll be shipping from America, so there is that. And it has been scary. It can be scary to be shoved into the unknown because unknown is different for all of us. For some people it's really dramatic. Maybe you'll end up like moving or changing jobs or something like that, but for me, it's been just as dramatic to have this psychological kind of comfort zone of having like feeling like I'd finally settled down and this was it and Loki was it, and okay, it seemed like all these gods were coming in and going out, but nobody ever stayed for long, even though they said they would. But then it feels like Nori's truly going to stay, and Nori's not going anywhere, I don't think. So I hope that helped answer your question. It's, it's good, it's scary, it can hurt. It's why I haven't been on as often. A lot of it's like been pretty deep work. And, you know, this kind of work can go in cycles. You can think you have it all figured out, and then months or years later, it all hits you again, and you're like, but I had this all figured out. It just can go in cycles. Sometimes what happened to us in our childhood or, you know, even our adulthood, it can, you know, leave a lasting impression we always carry with us. Usually that Hallmark BS is Hallmark BS. Usually we don't get, and that's nothing bad to know, usually we don't get a total dramatic healing and we never have it bother us again. It's only human to worry. Loki's over there like, you know, we worry too. So there you go. And, you know, it's been an interesting process. I think the most comforting thing I learned so far is that in Japanese cosmology, the kami are seen, unless they're like maybe celestial, and I think even the celestials, as they're still learning and growing just as we are. They're capable of making mistakes. They're capable of having very strong emotions at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. So they're capable of making mistakes too, which is why they usually kind of go easy on us. But, you know, it's kind of comforting to me to know that, you know, if your God can make mistakes, it doesn't mean you stop trying, but it's kind of comforting when you came from a religion where God is perfect. God never makes mistakes. God's never wrong. God never changes. I mean, to me, that was always boring, and I was like, well, how can a God like that relate to me? Loki's like, of course we made mistakes. We made humans. You're so mean. He's teasing in case you haven't met him yet. But yeah, it's comforting to know they make mistakes. They screw up just like we do, and they can't have to deal with it. But it was ridiculously comforting to know that we're not alone in that we have to learn and grow just as they do. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.